Come on, Sin of God. Do a little bit of damage to him. Come on, Sin of God. Work for your meals. How much damage do I even do? Not very much with even the bat. Oh, I died. There I go. I failed the raid. Why does every video game boss fight take place in Magic Rock Cube Land now? Oh, because having a standard arena that you can magically summon is easier than doing it within the actual like map itself. Because if you put a boss in Magic Cube Land, it's a lot easier if you make them an arena that you don't have to design like world boxes and shit for, and it can just be in a void with a bunch of cubes. That way you don't have to work on actually making an interesting boss within the world itself. I mean, what would you do as a developer? Like, would you A, take the cheaper and easier option of putting them in a cube world, or B, like put them in the environment itself and have the environment change and use more resources and more time? Magic Rock Cube Land. I mean, like, that's the thing that happens in Genshin, right? Is like there are a lot of boss fights that are in like that magic, like, go to the dungeon. You've transported to the dungeon. Awesome. I feel like it is a very mobile game thing. I only have experience with a little bit of gachas, but I do feel like Magic Cube Land is very mobile game core. And that's just to save, I would assume it's just to save time and resources. My armor is damaged. I gotta go back to my Palworld. Genshin, this, only games I can think of that do that. Well, yeah, Genshin's a big deal. And Genshin imitates a lot of Breath of the Wild stuff while also drawing people in with, buy our cute character and maybe get a random chance to get a character that you have feelings about. I don't know. Because, like, if you do a boss fight in, like, its own structured arena, I mean, that's dev time, that's thought, that's money. It's cheaper and easier to put them in giant fuckhead cube arena, fight them in the giant fuckhead cube arena. Remnant had a cube land in it with a whole boss that was just cubes. Yeah, true, but that was like, there was thought behind that. There was purpose to that in Remnant. Remnant also had purposes to that. It's like the Ghouls in Elden Ring, right? The Ghouls aren't the only bosses, i.e. also, even in this game, the only bosses aren't in those areas. Those are just for like the Syndicate, I would assume. Versus, I would assume every Syndicate encounter is in giant fuck cube world. More than likely. Let's get that cat. We gotta get a better party. Our party sucks right now. Let's get that dog. What that dog do? And then I gotta wait for my horse to come back, but otherwise, what about a fuddler? Humans should evolve. They should. Humans should evolve. When you capture a human, you should be allowed to evolve them into a new being. Make them stronger. Evolve them now. Worst part of this game is that dungeons don't have maps. I would say dungeons don't have maps, and the fact that like the world isn't styled to the PALs. Like, first glancing, this game is very Nintendo hire this man. And it has depth, and it has variety. But, like, first glance, you're like, oh, Nintendo hired this man. Got it. I would say the style, dungeons not having maps, there's a lot of QOL stuff they can do. But I love cooking baked berries on the fire. The world looks like they attempted to mash together every JRPG open world and gave it about 40% effort. I mean, I don't want to assume... Dev work is hard. I don't want to assume the amount of effort they put in. I would just say, stylistically, it does feel very... This is an Unreal asset. This is an Unreal asset. This is just haphazardly placed around here. They gave you the Breath of the Wild climbing so you can get around the weird parts. I would just say stylistically, it's clashing. Although, you know, I feel like they bought into that, though, is because since stylistically it clashes, the guns already buy into that a little bit. Where, like, naturally it does already clash with itself with just the guns. So I feel like it weirdly buys into itself like that. I gotta make a fridge. I mean, stuff is kind of scattered around, yeah, haphazardly. It does feel like stuff is sprinkled on the map a little bit. Yeah, I would say Palworld, if Palworld had like one concise vision, instead of just like a smorgasbord kind of game, it's like the buffet of video games. Gamers love food analogies, right? Palworld is like the buffet of video games. They just took a bunch of shit and they threw it on the ground and said, this is how it's going to work. Are we all, we're not gonna get too negative, please, here too? Huh? No, I mean, I enjoyed most of the game, honestly. I realized that. Like, yesterday while playing it, I was like, fuck, this game actually has a core gameplay loop that I enjoy, because the brainworms are here. I'm just not gonna be like, this game poopy dick fuck poopy, because I was like, you know, there's a lot more thought put into this than, something like Craftopia. So this game is like a kind of a big pizza, right? Yeah. I don't get it. This is just the most creatively bankrupt thing I've seen come out. Yeah, but you also have to remember that you kind of sound like the one guy who's like, stop having fun. And you're going to get owned when, like, they make that image and it's going to say glass brain above the guy who's yelling, stop having fun, stop having fun, stop having fun. Oh, no, because, like, I can admit fully that this is very much imitation. It doesn't have a clear, concise vision, I don't think. It's very simple, the way that they've kind of pulled from a bunch of different things. They ripped a bunch of shit from other games and made, like, a buffet of video games, but at the same time, it's fun. Like, I'm sorry, it's fun. I'm having fun. It sucks. I wish I could be, like, more menacingly evil about this game, but I don't have, like, horrible things to say about it. Aside from, yeah, they just kind of rip from a bunch of different places. And yeah, absolutely, I can be critical about it, but it's still fun. I mean, I same thing, 7 Days to Die. I'm very critical about that game. I still have a lot of fun. For Pokemon fans, it's like going from a Kitchen Nightmares restaurant to a palatable fast food pizza place. Yeah. I mean, Pokemon fans have been on the IV drip for a while. As somebody who was a Pokemon kid for a very long time. But also, I'm not a critical person. I'm not a critic, really. I'm not here to be a critic. I'm here to fucking slap the shit out of this cat with a bat. I can be critical, but I'm not here to offer an analysis. How long did they add zombies to Palworld? Oh, no, the game's too successful now. The game is far too successful now, so like I said, they either have to sink or swim. I.e., they're going to have to look at, like, their creative plans and figure out a way for them to not drop this. They're going to have to look at their creative plans and be like, okay, we can't drop this. It's too successful. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Because I don't even think the Palworld devs understood how much of, like, how big this game would get. I don't even think they knew how large and big and round this game would get. I don't trust them not to drop it. It's going to get dropped hard. No fucking way. Craftopia, I understand. Like... And they're still updating Craftopia every once in a while. This game, no fucking way they drop it. Look at the Steam charts for this game right now. It is almost more people are playing it than CSGO. They have sold 2 million copies in 24 hours. That's how down bad Pokemon fans are. You have no idea. It would be silly to think that they would just straight up drop it. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I'm saying it would be incredibly silly to think that they would just be like, oh yeah, we're done. We dropped this shit. This is the Craftopia redemption arc. I keep saying it. This is the Craftopia redemption arc. I hope it does well. The game gives me good brainworms. Pretty much. Like, that's why I think it will do well if they keep up with updates. Like, I am sorry, but as somebody who was, like, yesterday, I'll admit, I was coping a little bit. I was like, this game is awful. It's going to be terrible. And then I started playing it, and I was like, okay, there's something here. They took some of the gameplay mechanics from Craftopia, removed the automation, and replaced the automation with, what if you had a silly creature do all that work? And, like, I am sorry, but if you are in the fuddy-duddy camp still, that is okay. But also, I don't know. There's always that risk of, like, are they going to drop it? Are they just going to be like, okay, we're done with this, we made our money, we'll move on? Yeah, I mean, there's always that prospect of they could do that, but I think that even they didn't think how big it was going to get. I feel so out of touch for not liking this at all. Listen, I was the same way, and then I played it, and I was a Pokemon kid, and I was like, you know, I understand it. It's like the Danny DeVito, right, where he's like, I get it now, I understand it. So is it slop or sludge? Slop. This game has redeeming qualities, and also, you can dislike things, right? You can dislike this game, absolutely. I'm not saying that you have to like it. I'm just saying that it is far better than I thought it would be for a game that is literally just a mishmash of a bunch of other mechanics from the creators of Craftopia. Some of the people who hate this seem so desperate, like they're hoping that it fails hard. I mean, yeah, I thought it was just going to bomb on release. I thought people were going to buy it and be like, this fucking sucks. But also, we're still in the honeymoon period. And sometimes people do want to be just a little angry, which I get. But also, like, yeah, if you don't enjoy it or you don't like it, absolutely, you are valid, right? You can have your own opinion. You are entitled to your own opinion. Just like Starfield, Brendan will come to hate this. I mean, I will like the gameplay loop until the gameplay loop sucks. Starfield was cope from the beginning. No, I did genuinely think and hope from things I had seen and done that it was going to progress more from what Bethesda was going to do, and then it didn't, and I was like, okay. There was with Starfield, I had to experience enough of the game for me to make an educated decision on it. At first, I was like, these are the parts I like, and then those parts got worse or didn't advance beyond what they were or beyond surface level, and I had to experience more of the game to be able to understand it. And I do like parts of Starfield still. I do enjoy parts of it. There are parts that are enjoyable. It's just the whole experience, and the experience as a whole is not as enjoyable. You can also like parts of a game while also hating it, other parts of the game. With video games, especially like big fuck mega games like Starfield was trying to be, you have to experience enough of the game to kind of make a good rational decision about it. And that's what happened with Starfield, is I had to experience enough of the game for me to go, okay, is there anything beyond this? When I play a video game, I have to ask myself, is there anything beyond this, right? Same with Palworld. Is there anything beyond this, like what I'm doing right now? Like, how does the game evolve? Where does it go? What happens with it? There's no real narrative to it. There's no real story to it. This is popcorn video game. This is a video game where I turn me brain off and I'm like, oh, I get to capture the chicken. I get to fight the guy. I get a big baseball bat. Then I hit the thing. This is a popcorn game. I'm not going to fucking sit here and say this is an advanced work of art. I'm not going to sit here and say this game belongs in the Louvre. It is slop. I will continue to say that it is slop. Slop is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just slop. This is a video game that in 3 years, if it's not updated consistently, and it doesn't like keep a large part of the base that's playing it now, is going to be forgotten about. It is slop. In 5 years, will people still be playing Palworld, is what the developers have to ask themselves right now. In 5 years, will people still be interested in this? I mean, look at popcorn movies. Look at, like, Marvel, right? Marvel had a good 10-year run, and now people are getting sick of it. People don't like to understand the fact that media can exist on a huge spectrum of quality. I mean, that's why I play a lot of slop, is it reminds me, like, there are some experiences that are okay, or just kind of fun. You don't have to always play video games that are like fucking genre defining. You don't have to watch movies that are only genre defining. I feel like I never call things slop. It's like guilty pleasures. I just enjoy stuff and not enjoy stuff. I mean, the thing about slop is still enjoyable, but also I have a different slop is entering like the circulation as a word now, and I use it in a different term. My definition from slop is different from the general definition of slop because I've been using it for so long. Slop for me is slop video games are video games. It doesn't mean bad. It just means there is slop in the trough, right? And slop video games have enough in them for me to enjoy them for a while. Why a lot of 360 video games that I play I consider slop. Doesn't mean they're bad. Sludge is a term that I use to determine what is like bad or awful. This is not competing with Pokemon. Well, like I said, the thing is, Pokemon fans are on the IV drip. People have been wanting a Pokemon successor for a while, to the point where they will try and play anything. But also, people really want not just a Pokemon successor, but a Pokemon successor that's like a big open world game. I kept talking about this. I talked about this yesterday, where you notice how a lot of video games are kind of pivoting to generic open world video game with property behind it, right? This is a similar thing where it's generic open world survival crafting video game, but it's got cute creatures, so it's like, oh, sick. So of course it's working out. I should have thought of that in the fucking first place. I didn't think that the game was going to be the way that it is. There is something to be said of, you can take the generic open world design from an Ubisoft game or from Breath of the Wild and slap something else on it and tweak it a little bit, and then boom. It's like, why haven't the other Pokemon clones succeeded where Palworld is succeeding financially, at least, is because they don't... It sucks to say, but they don't try that hard to be original. Palworld doesn't try that hard to be original. It's not original. It's Pokemon, but with guns. It's a dorkly comic. Look at Temtem. Look at Cassette Beasts. Look at Black... Oh, is this a... Do I gotta fight this? Are you a fight guy? Or do you sell things? I don't like you. It's not trying to be original, and that's the thing people don't want. In some circumstances, people crave familiarity. They don't crave originality, right? It sucks to say. I wish everything could be a perfect artistic endeavor, and people could enjoy things that are wholly unique. Monster Sanctuary, yeah, that's another imitation Pokemon game. The reason those games don't blow up outside of like the niche that they are in is because they want to be original. They try to be original while still capturing the spirit of what if you capture creatures. This is wholeheartedly and unabashedly, what if Pokemon had guns? And that's why it's doing well. Now, I thought that was the reason it was going to fail, because I thought there was no fucking way people would like be that way. But I also forgot that like the human brain is dumb and it craves familiarity. And yeah, it's popular because it's a collage of all the shit from other popular games. Yeah, it is familiarity. I would never defend this game from an artistic standpoint. I will defend this game from it is popcorn. I'm not playing this to be an enlightened gamer. I'm not playing this to enjoy the story and remark while having a pipe in my mouth like, yes, very good, very keen. I'm enjoying this because it scratches the same brainworms that, like, shitting does, right? This game massages my prostate. This game is a lot like getting fucked in the ass. It's like shitting. This game is like taking a shit. This is the taking a shit of video games. It's familiar. The bowl is there. And, like, it feels good when you take a shit. Taking a shit is great. But it's not like you go out of your way to be like, you don't remark about, like, the critical acclaim of taking a shit. You've increased my understanding and loathing of the public. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is people crave familiarity. They do. And not every video game is going to be a perfect artistic endeavor. You know? Sometimes video games are just, what if we took a bunch of shit and made stupid poo-poo fuck? And that's all it needed to be. I do think people are getting weirdly defensive about this very slop type of game. Well, because people are conditioned to defend their interests with tooth and nail because how critical some... people get very, very hypercritical, right? Because they're conditioned to be hypercritical, right? I think it's okay to be critical while also having fun. Because I do think, yeah, this game is not wholly original. This game is a bunch of mishmash shit. This game is goofy as all hell. But also it's like $30 and you can play with your friends, so who gives a shit? Hillside Cavern, whoa, dungeon! But I mean, yeah, also, look at a video game like Ark 2, and there are a lot of people that wanted an Ark-like. See, it's a weird combination of Pokemon fans and people that are Ark fans, because I believe the last Ark game didn't do too well and wasn't too good. I don't know enough about Ark. And then people have also hate like the huge long timers in Ark. So they want to be able to play a game with their friends where they don't have to worry about like dinosaurs, and Pokemon are familiar enough. Like I said, I think this game is just a mishmash that scratches. It's the perfect game at the perfect time where there's nothing out and people crave familiarity. Some people moralize about fun. If your fun is with something bad, then your fun is also bad. Well, yeah, and I like, it's really easy to fall into that. I fall into that all the time sometimes. It's also really easy to be like incredibly negative about something to the point where like, I don't want to hear you talk about shit if you're going to be a Debbie Downer all the time. But also on the other hand, I think it is fair to dislike shit. I think it's fair to be critical about shit. You just have to be, one, accepting of taking an L. I take the L on this game is fun. I'm having a good time with it. I will take the L on that. But also, like, look at this. If I gave Redfall shit for the same fucking thing, which I did, I will give this game shit for it. Incredible combat. Perfect combat. Wonderful combat. Perfect genre-defining combat. Amazing, innovative AI. Incredible combat. Perfect gaming. Do you think they're ever going to notice me? Okay, but context, Brendan. It's an early access. All right, I'm going to fucking say it. If you release your video game in early access, that does not excuse your video game from criticism. If your video game, saying a video game is in early access doesn't mean that it is not, you can't be critical about it too. That's not an appropriate reason. It's still a product you can buy. It does give the bugginess context. It does, but it still exists. Redfall was arcade. No, I know. I'm not talking about the. I got my brain split. I'm not talking about when you said Redfall is arcade. I'm talking about a different chat comment. A part of early access for the game to be criticized so that they can fix it. Yeah, absolutely. So I am looking at that and saying they really love that rock. Yeah, I agree. Video games are in early access to bug test, to beta test, but there is still a product that is released. Absolutely. Like, be critical of it. Like, this shit needs a dungeon menu. The dungeons in this game are going to be a mishmash of different cells that all look like they're part of a different game. I would say my biggest criticism of this game, aside from like some of the nastier elements of like Craftopia, is that everything clashes with the creatures. Whereas I'm going to bring up Nintendo. I'm sorry. You can be mad at me. Something Nintendo does really well, even if Scarlet and Violet were a clusterfuck, is the Pokemon still feel like they're a part of the world. Yeah, the world looks sloppy as hell, but the Pokemon feel like they're a part of that world. This feels like a dungeon in Dragon Age Inquisition. And I'm like, why are there Pokemon here? I also think it's funny that this very early game has the same issues as a full-price $60 game made by a major AAA studio. Game dev is hard. But also, there is like when it comes to like AAA full released games, I mean, we as consumers made that problem exist and real, right? We like general, you know, it's like, oh, Brendan, well, I didn't buy games that are buggy. Like I'm saying the general, the royal we, the consumer we, consumers kept buying games that ended up being broken, ended up being buggy. So they will continue to release in broken and buggy states. If Palworld released not in early access, it would be getting the same level of criticism, right? And I'm still being critical of it. There are fucking a ton of weird issues with this game. But like, I mean, with Pokemon especially, you look at it and you're like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna buy this, right, pal? We made this bet as consumers, and there will always be a rallying cry for, I wish video games took longer. I've always said, if you need more time with your video game to polish it and make it more functional and release, take that time. I can wait. I will wait another year. I will wait another 6 months. I will wait another 2 years. Take your time. But also, there is a fundamental corporate problem. I never pin this on the developers of video games. I always pin this on the corporate fuddy-duddies at the top is, well, we got to get this game released because we got to make money. Do you think, though, you'll come back to this game if they really polish and complete it? I mean, yeah. And I'll check out major updates and stuff, too. Absolutely. I'd love to see, like, the enemy AI get reworked, and instead of, like, running around with a big club and then doing their really floaty jumps, like, actually making it so that combat is more interesting. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't think it is a developer problem. I think it is a corporate problem. Game dev, I would never blame a specific dev or a team of devs for a video game releasing broken. More often than not, it is pushed out from somebody at the top. Get in the ball. You love the orb. Stay in the orb. You love the orb. You love the orb. Of course you do, idiot. My grandmother bought me Destiny 2 Collector's Edition. It's $500 Canadian because she won a $10,000 lottery. Okay. Just flaunt, you got a rich and wealthy grandma now. Okay, so I'm going to get a top hat. I'm going to move to Canada. I'm going to have to, Shelby and I, we're going to have to talk. I'm going to need a new identity. Okay, got it. So anyways, your grandma single? Yes, actually, awesome. I'm going to take her to the penny slots. She's going to love it. She's only 60? Awesome. I'm taking her to the penny slots. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I'll be your pep now. I'll teach you about wood-burning stoves. I can be your pep for 10K. I'll be your pep. I'll teach you about wood-burning stoves. Now your Meemaw's away, so it's just you and me. I'm gonna talk to you about wood-burning stoves. I'm gonna show you how this works. Oh, but Peepaw Brendan, I already know about wood-burning stoves. No, you don't. We're gonna teach you about wood-burning stoves. This game looks like it has motion smoothing on a smart TV. That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. Brendan, chat must date your mom. She names her dog Dirt. No, you're not dating my mom. Stop! It's not happening. You're not going to date my mom as a cohesive unit. No! Every day with this shit, what other streamer has to be like, man, my chat really wants to date my mom? Don't you love the cicada noises? I feel like I'm going to be driven insane. I feel like at some point I'm going to notice the audio loops and I'm going to go insane. There should be a pal that's just a rock with googly eyes, and he doesn't do anything. He just sits there. If you're cold, they're cold. Trap the cicadas in an orb. I got to give them 401k. I got to give them benefits. I gotta sign them up for healthcare. I gotta give these cicadas healthcare. Stat. You could assign someone to make arrows while you're out. Well, I know that. I understand that. But also I need the arrows now. You're forgetting about instant gratification versus, like, delayed gratification. Yeah, I can have them making that shit while I'm gone, but I just made all of the ones that I could so that I can go out and explore. I understand that you can use the pals for labor, but what if I need it? Why am I chrome? Everything's chrome in the future. Oh, sorry, I'm wet. Everybody's wet in the future. My witch hat makes me more menacing. Oh, you think? I like that it debalds my character. I'm a big fan of how it makes my character less bald. It just gives me hair. Pretty cool. Everybody's wet in the future. Because because the oceans have taken over. It was a great flood. It hairs you. The witch's hat hairs you. You have to deal with it. It hairs you. It forcibly hairs you. Game bad now, Brendan is bald. You had no idea I was bald under the hat. You had no clue that under the hat I was bald this entire time. Zhuzh was bald. You had no clue. Oh, there's a herd of wild... Here, Arguning, I'm going to feed you. Let me hand feed you berries. Here you go. Here's a couple of berries for you. Man eating wild pets. Okay. What do they got? I need that hoodie. I don't care about the other ones, but I need that hoodie lizard. I need one of them. Come on. Give me the hoodie lizard now. Both of them would be great. Hoodie lizard. I got both of they. Pacifist, come on! Oh yeah, one of those lizards that was attacking your town, Brendan. Kind of a pacifist, not gonna lie. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay. Brendan, you've become the human pet guy. Oh, no, these are just all my pets. Brendan, those are people. No, they're all my pals. We love palling around and having a good time. Brendan, those are people. You have to let them go, Brendan. No way, they're all my pals. They love the orb. No way. They love working the field. Brendan, please. Whoa, is that a shiny? Why is he so big? What the fuck? Is that a shiny? Why is he huge? Massive pal. Huge pal. I finally found it. Big pal, I guess. I'll take it, sure. Shinies are massive. Oh, is that their bit? I found a lucky pal. Oh, they're called Lucky. Shiny pal. You gotta find the big one. Out here looking for the big pal. Come on, Brendan. You gotta find the big one. I found it, guys. The whale. I did. He needs a big pizza. I found an elephant that was huge. He needs a big pizza. He craves it. Oh, I'm a shiny little pal, aren't I? Oh. How big is he? Holy shit. Why is he so fucking big? Jesus fucking Christ. Massive pal. Precious entrails. This game is so fucking stupid. Oh my god. As much as I enjoy playing this game, I can't deny this is I'm going to push you in the locker and because you never shower core. Cool guy, go in the orb. Cool guy, go in the orb. Go in the orb. Cool a guy, go in the orb. Cool a guy, go in the orb. Cool a guy, go in the orb. Nope, go in the orb. Cool a guy, go in the orb. Cool a guy, go in the orb. Cool a dude, go in the orb. In the orb. In the orb. Why won't you stay in my orb? Nintendo probably still doesn't know Palworld exists. I think it's dumb to assume that Nintendo has no idea about a competitor in the creature capture market. That'd be dumb to assume their legal team hasn't looked into it already. They're a mega fuck corporation. There's no way they don't know about Palworld. The reason there's not litigation is because they determined that it wasn't worth it. Either A, it wasn't worth it, or B, they have no cause. I mean, the devs? What do you mean, the devs? I'm talking about the company, not the developers who work there. The developers who work there won't care. Just because you make a video game doesn't mean you have any choice in, like, the corporate response of the video game. Corporate lawyers, middle managers, boardroom meetings, the people who make creative changes. Yeah, you mean the people that work in corporate. The problem I have with the word devs is I feel like people use it as a catch-all. And it's like, yeah, the suits. The suits have it on their radar. Devs don't care. They're going to work on the game and make their money. And try to do something neat. Devs don't care. All they want to do is grill. You guys have no idea how game deving works? Me when it's like, please press the make game better button. Please. Will the devs please press the make game better button, please? Oh, there are a billion people in devs that work on a billion different parts of the games. Maybe a creative manager. You talking about like a creative manager? Like somebody who would manage the creator? Somebody who works on like Pikachu's butthole texture isn't going to care about Palworld. You can use the specific names for the developers you're talking about instead of just saying the devs. Yeah, project leads, and sometimes they develop, yeah. Not saying the project leads don't get their hands dirty, or that metal managers sometimes don't get their hands dirty. I usually just refer to the suits as the suits. The suits will care. The people, boots on the ground, are not going to care. People talking about the devs like you talk about the Borg. Yeah, that's the thing, is like using a general term that applies to everybody who like works on a video game, saying like, why don't the devs care? And it's like, which devs are you referring to? It's semantics at the end of the day. I just think it's good to make a clear definition of who you are talking about instead of just saying generally, it's the devs' fault, the devs, they. Because when I think devs, I think boots on the ground people who do the work. When I think middle managers and the money men, that's who I think of who are making the big decisions. At the end of the day, it's semantics, but it's important semantics to me. But Brendan, okay, if you get a sandwich and the sandwich is bad, you blame the cook. Like video games ain't food. You do the same thing with the suits. Is Todd Howard a suit or a dev? Both. You can be both. You could also refer to the suits as the suits and include Todd Howard in that. Not everything is black and white is the thing. You are working under the assumption that everything is black and white, that everything is this or that. And it's not that way. There are easier generalizations to make. Game development is very complicated, and I'm not going to pretend that I understand exactly how it works top to bottom. I know how company work. I think it's all magic. It's all wizard shit. Todd's a really good figurehead, too. Like, that's the reason Todd exists. It's the reason why people like Peter Molyneux exist. That's the reason why Todd exists. Why John Carmack exists. Why some video game companies have a definitive like lead guy is because they may get all the praise, but they also risk all of the bad mouthing. When I'm like, oh, fucking Todd, that's a joke. Like, it's easier to blame Todd for the game being bad because he has a finger in creative, and the decisions don't get by his desk. In general, game dev is really complicated. I actually have no idea what we were talking about. We typically say don't blame the devs, blame the suits, and it's just a bad distinction. Explain, why is it a bad distinction? And also, it is the job of the suits to take the blame. That is their job to manage the people. Am I not the people? Brendan is not the people. No, I'm a creature. Let's not put Carmack and Howard in the same sentence, please. No, it's because I mean, for a time, Carmack operated, I mean, Carmack did fucking Doom and shit, and Todd was captain of the chess team. But, like, that's what a figurehead or, like, a big suit at a company does, is they take the blame. Look at Pete Spencer. Pete Spencer for Xbox? No, because I think it's good to make the distinction. Because the people who make creative decisions with games and develop them are also part of the marketing and finance team. Not always, and not usually. When you say it's the suit's problem, are you also including the person who just gets paid to render Pikachu's butthole? Phil Spencer, thank you. If somebody is there just to make a texture for, like, the grass, what if somebody just works on the grass? Are they also a suit? Because they go to work, they work on the grass, they go home. You put Phil Spencer and Pete Hines' name together. Yeah, true. A lot of the time, devs and suits are separate. Sometimes they're together. No, the Pikachu butthole person is just working. So, would you blame the Pikachu butthole person for a game being bad? Would you blame the person who works in the office, who looks at the Pikachu butthole rendering, who may spend some time working on Charmander's butthole, but also works on payroll? When I say devs, I mean the people making the big decisions. Yeah, but you're including the people who make the small decisions in that sentence, too. You understand how game dev works? I'm just going to throw that back at you. I'm sorry. So you're saying it is the person who builds the Pikachu butthole's fault, who is a dev. So it is their fault, even though they have nothing to do with management. So when I say the suits, you're saying the suits is bad because they're also devs. Isn't it bad to say the devs because all devs aren't suits? I just think it's good to make the distinction because I think people get so angry at game developers sometimes. I'm not saying anybody here does that, but I think some people get so angry at game developers sometimes that they'll look for anybody to blame that is, like, online, i.e. somebody makes Pikachu butthole. They have in their Twitter bio, I'm the person who renders Pikachu's butthole. And somebody tweets at them, why does your game look like shit? Why is the game bad? I'm going to fucking kill you. And that's why I like to make that distinction, is because I think it's important to make the distinction so that less of that happens. I don't think anybody should get any death threats for any reason. But I think part of that starts at making the distinction between devs and suits. Personally, I would be blaming the creative leads when I say devs. Yeah, just say creative leads. I blame the creative leads. I blame the managers. If you think a game is bad because of a certain reason, say that reason. Using a catch-all term is a negative. IMO. So you can have a normal discussion with Twitch chat sometimes while man floaty at you. I also miss Iwata. We would like to play. He's such a cool guy. But the internet loves overgeneralization. I mean, I generalize when I say the suits. It's easy to generalize. It's a lot harder to think and, like, look up a proper term. It's very hard to research and look at a video game and see whose fault it was, especially if you don't work for that company or don't talk to the people who work for that company. It's incredibly easy to listen to a talking head and the talking head says, it's the creative lead's fault. What if the creative lead was hamstrung by middle management? We just would never know. It'll never end and it'll always be a problem, unfortunately. I wish it was easier to know, like, where do we put the blame for a bad product? Do we put the blame on ourselves for buying it? Do we put the blame on the people who made it? Do we put the blame on the people who market it? Do we put the blame on the CEOs at the top who pushed it out early? And finger pointing will always be around. I just think, at least if you're gonna finger point, you don't have to finger point at the people who are boots on the ground rendering Pikachu's butthole. And also, it's like it's easy to blame. It's harder to criticize. It's easy to just say thing bad because of person. It's harder to look into it and do the research and figure out who actually the problem was, if you even can. Can you use another analogy, please? No, Pikachu's butthole is saying rendering Pikachu's butthole is an analogy, an analgy. But also, like, this whole conversation, you know, caveat this with a hint of salt. You know, what is it? I am not a game dev. I do not work in game dev. I play video games. I do not have the right thought processes. I'm not experienced in programming. I'm not experienced in the space. I am not educated enough. I wish I was educated enough, and I'm always trying to learn more about this shit. But you take this all with a grain of salt. I just think we should respect people a little bit more. That's really what I can say, is like, from my point of view, I think we should just have a little bit more respect. I don't make videos game. I'm too stupid. I look at the computer and I'd be like, why can't I press the make game button? What is this game about? Never heard about it? Okay, so like, you know Pokemon, right? Like, fuck, dude. What if the worst guy you know had a game exclusively made for him? Oh my god, it is 30 minutes. Oh my god. Wow! Wow! 30 minutes? Awesome! Dude, I could do so many other things while I wait for egg. Or I could just wait for egg. Criticizing 30-minute egg timer, Brendan. You really want your instant gratification, don't you? In Pokemon, when you get to egg, you can get in a bicycle and then go left and then go right and then go left and then go right and then go left and you go right and then go left and then go right and then go left and then go right and then they'll go left and then go right and then go left and then go right and then go left and then go right. Then the egg hatches, so let's just sit in silence for 30 minutes. Let's just sit and look at the egg and go, No, but you see, incubation speed 100%, that means there's a way to increase incubation, right? Whoa, for the longest egg. Whoa. So what do I do now? Do I just unlock new technology and continue to give me egg? I do wonder though, I'm curious. I wonder how many other streamers are having like the discussion about Palworld while playing it. I'm also curious how many people are playing it and just being like, man, this sucks, this poopy. It's always interesting to know what like other ecosystems are doing, because it will be really neat. I'm just watching you while playing it. Fair. I just think I'm really interested in seeing the honeymoon period when it's over. I think I'm really invested in seeing when the honeymoon period for this game is over for a lot of people all at the same time. Sorry, I gotta switch out my guy and then put him back in because they don't remember how to eat food. It's early access. It's early access. It's early access. Don't remember it. Go eat food. It's early access. What biome would the Brendaniel ecosystem be? The swamp? No, it's an abandoned mall. And we're all running around feral style. I think an abandoned mall would fit y'all very well. Y'all would love the abandoned mall. Why is that one premise so fucking stupid? They're all dumb as hell. They ain't got no fucking brain. Waiting for gamer subs to reach out to me so I can finally sell my normal flavor on their store. Please, take it. Imagine being able to buy a gamer subs flavor just called normal. And it has nothing crazy on it. It's just like a guy with a thumbs up. Imagine. And it's just called normal. Dude, imagine. It's actually just water. It's just called normal. I think you should promote the Jack Link's Pikachu butthole said Pikachu. Said guy who renders the Pikachu butthole, and that's just going to be brought up way more, isn't it? People are going to I'm going to be haunted by it for decades and decades. That shit look like a sock and bopper. Stop talking about the Pikachu butthole. That's what I'm here for, to be hypercritical and to always be right. Me, arms crossed. I'm dumb as fuck. I'm okay with admitting that, though. I'm stupid. I can be wrong about a billion things. I'm the most factual streamer. Like, I'm wrong all the time. Like, I just have to admit it. Ren Shapiro. Yeah, I've heard that one before. Facts don't care about your feelings. I'm gonna go drink ocean water now. You don't need to desalinate the water. You can just drink it right at the ocean. You don't need to desalinate it. You don't need to take the salt out of it. You can just drink ocean water. I'm so right. Is Palworld the sequel to Monster Rancher? No way. Monster Rancher's fucking sick. You can put a CD in your Thungus and then make a new monster. Palworld will never let you put in Weird Al's Straight Outta Linwood and then get a creature from it. All right? Palworld will never have that level of cool. Let's get into those pals. Sorry, why did I say it like that? Let's get into those pals. Let's rip them asunder. Hey, puppy, I just got back from Pal Eyes. Want a bite of my chickpea breast? Hey, puppy, I just got back from Craftopia. Do you want to look at my low poly Unity gorilla? Would love a horror video game where somebody buys that Unity asset and just makes it the antagonist. Don't even give it like movement or anything. Just make it slowly follow you around. I love you, low poly Unity gorilla. You're my favorite guy. The gorilla should be in the next Palworld update. That's how they win me over fully. That's how the Palworld devs fully win me over. Is make a note of that, Palworld devs. I will forgive all of the cracks in this video game if you just add the Craftopia. You just port it over from Unity to Unreal, and you just add it into You just add it to Palworld. Low poly Unity gorilla would be the funniest fucking bit ever. I thought you were about to say a horror game where somebody buys the asset of the gorilla and it becomes real and kills the person in real life. I want to be the Unity asset gorilla. I want to absorb all the knowledge of the Unity asset gorilla. I want to be the Unity asset gorilla. What would his pal name be? Unity asset gorilla. Hello, Steven. I'd like to talk to you for a moment, Steven. Steven? Hey, Steven. You know, you're a great pal, right? Steven, you're a great pal, right? And, you know, here's a little pet for you. Steven, here, your favorite, bread. You know what? Steven loves warm bread. He's a huge fan of it. Steven loves his warm bread, and he loves hanging out and having a good time. Oh, Steven. Here, another pet, Steven. Come here, Steven. That's so great. I'm so sorry, Steven. I'm butchering Steven Dennison. I'm so fucking sorry, Steven. Good thing I got all those gold coins out of his bones. Tell me about the rabbits, Brendan. Yeah, the rabbits, Steven Dennison. The rabbits, they're going to be everywhere, Steven Dennison. Don't worry, Steven Dennison. Steven Dennison, I can't take care of you. I'm so sorry. And then why would you do this to Steven Dennison of all people, Brendan? He was there for you when you needed him the most. What did you do, Brendan? Cast him away, cut him up, and took his coins. Sorry, Steven Dennison. I had to make room. I needed more pals. Brendan, those aren't gold coins. Those are his teeth. No, they're gold coins. They're just gold coins. It's nothing weird. It's not his teeth or anything. Those are gold coins. In 1997, I killed 5 men, and in the video game Palworld, I will kill again. Thank you. Brendan, I have no idea what to make of this game. It exudes such cursed energy, but everybody says it's good. It's slop. Is that the best thing? I mean, it's fun slop. I think that's the best statement I can make, is it's fun slop. The cracks are showing, there are problems with it, but also you have to remember that everybody is in the honeymoon phase. So it may, if you are on the fence about this game, it may be better to wait like a week to see if the people are out of the honeymoon phase. Because I know better than anybody how video games like this, Flavor of the Month games come out, or games that seem like Flavor of the Month games come out. And your friends all buy into it, and you're like, oh, I can't really make the purchase, and you don't want to, like, really buy into it unless you know it's going to be something that maybe you and your friends play long-term. This is fun slop. So I would say there's an older version on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, you can try it out, and then if you like it, I mean, buy it. Like, I'm not going to pretend like this is the most awesome fucking video game ever made. It's so fucking good. It's fun. It's interesting. That boar is dying. Oh, no, sorry, they don't drown. I forgot about that. It's fun, it's interesting. Pokemon with gun. But, like, where's the longevity? This game has child labor in it. Oh, this game you can abduct humans and then butcher them for coins. That's also a big point for people, where it's like, dude, it's like Pokemon, but you can actually grab people and, like, put them in your fucking box, right? And then you can, like, fucking butcher them. It's so sick, dude. And if that is something you want to play, then Palworld exists. Absolutely. Dude, it's so twisted! So fucked up! That is, yeah, no, that's a good way to put Palworld, honestly. I think it's fun, but it is, like, very, dude, it's sick and twisted, you gotta fucking play this, man. And your friend hands you a copy of Brutal Legend, and you're like, okay, this is fun. Like, I get it. Dude, this is so sick and twisted. Friend hands you a copy of Killzone 3. Dude, you gotta fucking try, dude. The Hellgas, dude? Ooh, hey, man. God, why are there cicadas in the cave? Did I break the game and now I just have a continuous cicada audio loop? I'm losing it. Okay, it stopped. It stopped. I don't know how you can play this game for more than 2 hours, and if you notice the cicada audio loop, it's gonna drive you insane. They're back! The bugs are back! Playing this game is there are bugs under my skin, there are bugs under my skin, there are bugs under my skin core. Why are there cicadas? I'm in a cave. Why do they not stop? There are bugs under my skin, there are bugs under my skin. I have to kill to quiet the bugs. You do have to kill to quiet the bugs. Oh my god! First schizophrenic core game. After Hellblade, right? You have to quiet the bugs by walking up to fire, killing people, and eating food. Brandon, why would you say that when your audience is ADHD core? I dare you to play Palworld and then notice the cicada audio loop. I'm ruining the game for you. Oh, that's my plan, is to slowly but surely whittle away the game for you. What I'm doing is I'm pointing out the cracks, but if you continue to have fun, you better stop having fun right now, Buster. Me pointing at the screen, you better stop having fun right now, Buster. Stop mentioning it? What, the cicada loop? You don't like it? I'm not killing, I have to kill. I have to kill. My blood is pumping, I have to kill. I have to end the cicada. I have to end the noises. What's the Brendaniel McDonald's order? If I'm really hungry, 20 chicken McNuggets. If I'm not really hungry, 10 chicken McNuggets. Bro eats like a toddler? What? Do you not eat at McDonald's? I'm sorry, what you want me to do? Shelby, could you ask the McDonald's clerk if they have any croquembouche? Oh, Shelby, could you ask them at the McDonald's if they could beef me a Wellington? Oh, Shelby, could you ask the McDonald's to make me a rotisserie chicken with mashed potatoes and peas? Oh, Shelby. I'm sorry, Brendaniel. Are you eating finger food over there? Oh, what a baby. Not with my refined palate. Excuse me, Brendaniel. Pardon me, but it seems you're eating finger food again. Why not try something delectable, like an escargot with a creamy vichyssoise? Oh, Brendan, are you asking for soda? At the restaurant? Oh, you don't even know how to decant a wine, Brendan. You know nothing about wine. Literally Animus yelling at me, you know nothing about wine, you know nothing about wine. Obviously, you know nothing about wine. Hey, puppy, I just got back from Popeyes. Would you like a bite of my chicken breast? Right, I think they meant that because you're only eating nuggets, no Big Mac, no nothing, and it's a bit that only children eat the McNuggets. That's a bit? Why? You dip them in the sauce, it's good shit. I'd like, why? It's fucking food. I'm not asking for a Crayola playbook when I get the chicken Mac Nuggets. I'm just like, I'm gonna get a couple McNuggets. That's it. You're not having beans on toast with a little bit of tea, mate. Oh, mate, you're not having fishy chippy. You're having Mac Nuggets. What are you, baby? You gooing? Are you gagaing? Widely known thing that only kids eat the nuggets. I mean, maybe in England, that's not the way it is in America. Everybody get the nuggets. It's not like a thing in America or in the US. Oh, you're not having toad in the hole, mate? What are you, fucking mental? Is a man not entitled to the mac of his nugget? No, says the man in the chat. You must eat your slime and you must like your slime. McDonald's is good breakfast, but everything else. I mean, McDonald's is safe. It's a safe option. You know what you're getting there. That's a big reason why people ate there. It's safe and it's easy and it used to be cheap, but not anymore. And the fucking breakfast's still really good, yeah. Well, that's why they're doing like the McCosmics, right? Is to basically offer like a new location that only sells like drinks and I think they have a spicy hash brown there. Really want to go to a Cosmics at some point. One of these fucking days, really want to go to a Cosmics. They got a spicy hash brown there on their menu. And I know it's like the white girl influencer place that McDonald's has built, but God, I really want to go there. They got breakfast all day at the Cosmics. Good luck, I'm pretty sure there's like only one in Chicago. Oh yeah, no, it's never coming to my area. They will never bring that shit to my area. But if I'm ever in like the vicinity of one, it'd be neat to try. You're a white girl influencer at heart? I absolutely am. What's Cosmics? It's a new McDonald's chain that sells like influencer drinks and like influencer slime. It's Starbucks McDonald's, yeah, but they got a spicy hash brown. Brendaniel, literally me. I do like a big dubious brew. I'm a big dubious brew enjoyer. Cosmic sells food items that McDonald's serves in another part of the world, Brendan. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I mean, I like a dubious brew. I do. Spicy McDonald's hash brown sounds fucking sick.